It began in silence, the kind of silence that comes before storms, before kingdoms fall, before wicked queens meet their appointed end. The city of Jezreel stood still under the burning skies. Traders hurried out of the market early that day. Servants whispered. Winds carried an eerie stillness. Something was coming, no one knew what, but they could feel it crawling through the air. Far to the east, the dust of chariot wheels tore across the desert like the finger of judgment itself. The driver whipped the horses into a frenzy, and anyone who saw him trembled. "It is Jehu," they said. "He drives like a madman." Jehu was no ordinary soldier. He had once served under King Ahab, but heaven had singled him out for something more. A prophet of Elisha had anointed him in secret with oil and whispered trembling words into his ear. "You are the one the Lord has chosen to destroy the house of Ahab. You shall strike Jezebel, and the dogs shall eat her in the territory of Jezreel." And now he was coming. Not with armies, not with fanfare, just fury. Divine fury. He had already killed King Joram with an arrow through the heart. Ahaziah of Judah had fled, but there was no escape. Now only one remained, Jezebel, the queen mother, the puppeteer behind the throne. She had spilled innocent blood, silenced prophets, mocked Yahweh, and built temples for Baal. Her crimes reached up to the heavens, and heaven had finally answered. In her chamber, Jezebel stood before a mirror of polished bronze. Her fingers traced dark kohl around her eyes. Her lips were stained red like crushed berries. Her garments shimmered with royal threads. Age had not stripped her beauty, nor had time stolen her pride. She was still regal, still arrogant, still unrepentant. She had heard of Jehu's rise. She knew he was coming. But she would not flee. Jezebel had never bowed to fear, and she would not start now. If death approached, she would meet it like a queen, painted, perfumed, defiant. She climbed to her upper chamber and stood at the window, looking down upon the gates of Jezreel. And there, like a shadow sent by God, came Jehu's chariot, thundering into view. Soldiers gasped. The earth trembled. She smiled, lifting her chin. "Have you come in peace, Zimri, you murderer of your master?" she called out, her voice slicing through the wind. Jehu looked up, not in awe, not in hesitation, but with eyes like sharpened swords. He didn't respond to her directly. Instead, he raised his voice to those beside her. "Who is on my side?" "Who?" he thundered. Behind the queen, 2 or 3 eunuchs, once her loyal attendants, emerged slowly. Their eyes met Jehu's. Their silence broke like dry wood. Jehu's finger rose, steady as judgment itself. "Throw her down." For one brief moment, time seemed to pause. Jezebel turned, her painted eyes wide. But there was no mercy left in that palace. No protection. No guards. No gods. Her own servants seized her, hands that once obeyed her now betrayed her. They lifted the woman who once commanded kings and cast her down from the window. Her body tumbled through the air and struck the palace wall with a sickening crack. Blood sprayed across the stone and the very horses that had brought Jehu to Jezreel. The queen's bones shattered on impact. She crumpled into a heap on the ground, broken, bruised, unmourned. And Jehu? He did not weep. He did not look again. He walked past the body, into the palace, and sat down to eat. "Serve me a meal," he said. "Drink with me." He dipped bread into wine while her blood still stained the courtyard. The queen who bathed in sin now lay in ruin, and justice feasted. Later, after the meal, Jehu paused and muttered, "Go now, see to that cursed woman. For though she was wicked, she was still a king's daughter. Let her be buried." But when the servants went out, they found only fragments. Dogs had devoured her body, just as the prophet Elijah had once declared. Only her skull, her hands, and the soles of her feet remained. Nothing more. When the news reached Jehu, he stood still and said solemnly, "This is the word of the Lord, which he spoke by his servant Elijah the Tishbite. In the field of Jezreel, the dog shall eat the flesh of Jezebel. And her corpse shall be as dung on the face of the field, so that no one shall say, 'This was Jezebel.'" And so it was. She who built altars to foreign gods. She who slaughtered the prophets of Yahweh. She who ruled through witchcraft, seduction, and blood. She became nothing. Not even a grave bore her name. Her death was not just an execution, it was a prophecy fulfilled, a divine act of vengeance. Her end was a warning, a trumpet blast across time, that no matter how high the wicked rise, there is a day when justice rides in a chariot, and no wall, no paint, no crown, no beauty can stop the hand of the Lord.